Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue our fourth chapter of SST, the Northern Mountains and the Northern Plains. We have read about the Northern Mountains and the Himalayan Mountains. Now let us continue. The Himalayan Mountains separate India and China through a natural boundary. You can see that in our student booklets that we all have. Now let us see some highest peak in the world, which are in the Himalayas. Everest, it is 8,848 meter, which is in Nepal. K2, 8,611 meter, it is in Pakistan. And Kanchenjunga, 8,586 meter, and it is in India. Now, the most important thing about the Himalayas. Now, where does the word Himalaya come from? The Himalaya is a word that is taken from Sanskrit, which means abode of snow. And the Himalayas are divided into 3 parallel ranges. Do you have any idea? Okay, let me explain. Now, let us relate the parallel ranges with the map. Now, whenever we read a map, as I have explained it earlier in the class, whenever we read a map, the topmost part we mark it as north, the lower part as south. As we move to our left, it is the western part, and then to the right it is the eastern part. So these are the 4 directions we need to know before we read any map. So as you can see, I have marked it with pencil on a map. The same copy you have it with you, so you can also mark it to know it better. These are the 3 parallel ranges of Himalayas. The first one, that is the Greater Himalayas or the Himadri. The second one, the Lesser Himalayas or the Himachal. And the third one, it is Shivalik range. So these are the 3 ranges of Himalayas. Now, this is the Greater Himalaya called Himadri. It has an average height of 6,000 meter and is the highest range in the Himalayas. The second one, the Middle or the Lesser Himalayas called Himachal, lies to the south of Himadri. Now when I say it's south of Himadri, that means this direction. When we go down this word toward the downside, okay, so when we read a map, we cannot say we are going down or we are going left, we are going right. So we need to mark the direction. So whenever we are going this side, we need to mention that we are going towards the south. So Himachal is to the south of Himadri. Okay, and has an average height of 3,700 to 4,500 meter. Himachal has an average height of 3,700 to 4,500 meter. So it is much lower than the Himadri. Himadri is the highest one, and Himachal, it is less high than the Himadri. Now next, the outer Himalayas or the southernmost range of the Himalayas are known as the Shivaliks. This part is known as Shivalik or the outer Himalayas. The average height here is from 900 to 1200 meter. So we have seen as we move to the south, the height decreases. The height decreases in range. This is the highest range. Then this is next to Himadri. It is lower than the Himadri, and Shivalik is lower than the Himachal. Now, the Greater Himalayas or Himadri is the northernmost and the highest range of the Himalayas. The Greater Himalayas or Himadri is the northernmost. It is the northernmost range and the highest range of the Himalayas. The peaks are permanently covered. The peaks over here, the mountain peaks over here in this range, these peaks are permanently covered with snow. And Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, lies in this range. The Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, it lies in the Himadri range in Nepal. Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi and Nanga Parbat are the highest peak of the Greater Himalayas in India. And what we find? Kanchenjunga, Nanda Devi and Nanga Parbat are the highest peak of the Greater Himalayas in India. The temperature remains very low throughout the year. Here in the Greater Himalayas, the temperature remains very low. Okay, the temperature remains very low throughout the year. So the cultivation of crops in this range is not at all possible, as well as human settlement is also not possible.